Welcome to Solar Session. I'm your host, Gilbert, and today we're joined by Ashton Stone, sales manager at OptionOneSolar. The 30% federal tax credit is gone for homeowners, and that changes the way solar is financed and structured. Today, we're going to focus on a new solution, prepaid PPAs, and navigate this new landscape together.
It's a horrible habit.
All right, well, let's begin. Let's get to it. So, Ashton, as the sales manager at Option One Solar, walk us through your day-to-day responsibilities. What does your typical week look like?
So, selling as much as I can because I'm a producing sales manager, making sure that we have the best product offerings available in the market from loans to prepaid PPAs, third party ownership. We like to do systems where you get to own at the end of the day. We really don't have a lot of customers who prefer to do a lease once we show them what it is we could do so they could own it. But product offerings, making sure my team is ready to go, encouraging them every day, getting everybody else locked in to make each month the best as possible from a production standpoint, training as much as I can while I'm busy selling, and it's typically a busy day. Yeah.
And what are the most common issues or objections homeowners raise during the sales process?
Well, if we can find a way to save somebody money, that is going to be our biggest adversary. How much can we save? Is it going to pan out in the customer's eyes? There's really no objection that I see as being plausible if we can hit that target.
And in your experience, what is a key factor that converts a lead into a sale?
Showing benefit
Mhm.
and getting the customer to see all the points that we've known establish solar as a good idea in this high energy cost market.
Showing them the benefits of solar, educating them.
Yeah, because a lot of people walk into something like this not knowing all the different benefits. For example, right now you can purchase solar, and it's one of the only home improvement upgrades you can do, which currently does not make you recast your property taxes. That might be something that's going away
Mhm.
pretty soon here if it doesn't get if the exemption doesn't get passed again. Um, a lot of people don't know that there is a multiplier in your savings as the utility rate goes up every year. Your avoided cost gets better and better. Um, when I did refinance on one of my properties, I came to find out that they gave me half of what I spent as appraised market value
Mhm.
on my home. I still have that loan today, so it's not paid off. For example, if I was to have sold that home, which is now a rental, at the time, I would have got half the money I spent back on the system because it has value
Mhm.
and it's an asset on my home. It wasn't the whole amount,
Mhm.
but I'll take the 50%. I already took advantage of the tax credit, for
Mhm.
example. And so I have a system that's saving me money all the while. One day, if I sell the house, I'll get 80% back of what I spent on it from appraised market value and the tax credit that I already scalped for.
And following up on the tax credit, I feel like it's important to address the fact that the solar ITC is no longer available to homeowners. Can you explain why prepaid PPAs exist? Who pays, who owns, who claims the credit, and when does ownership transfer?
Yeah, so it's important to make the distinction between, to understand this fully, there is a residential tax credit
Mhm.
that is ending. However, there's a commercial tax credit that is still alive. The way it works is you have HDM Capital, and they will give you what's called a prepaid PPA, where they own the system for 5 years. You own the system starting on year six.
Mhm.
They give you 20% of the tax credit, the commercial tax credit, as a discount upfront on your system costs. So if you're at a $40,000 system price, you'd be closer to 32 and some change, give or
Mhm.
take. And they make their money by keeping 10%.
Mhm.
They sell this as a tax write off to very large corporations.
Mhm.
And it's a very good use of the commercial tax credit money to still be able to, if you're still looking at owning your system, you still want to own your system.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And building off of that $40,000 example, let's say, like in terms of savings, what does the homeowner actually pay under a prepaid PPA, and how does that compare to what they would have received with the previous ITC?
So you're looking at the total system cost minus 20%.
Mhm.
So, but it's upfront. Yeah, a lot of people with the tax credit could not get all of the benefit because you still have to have the tax liability.
Mhm.
The tax credit was a dollar for dollar reduction of any taxes that you owe. And let's say you weren't in a position to use all of that. You're not getting that whole 30% in that case. With this, you get 20% right off the bat, right off the top of your total cost.
Mhm.
And you can still finance the amount that remains or pay for it. It'd just be 20% less.
And working within this, are there any situations where the homeowner could owe money after ownership transfers at year 6 or any ongoing obligations?
The contract agreement on the very first page clearly states that you will own your system on year 6 with no additional costs.
Okay, so that clears the air for a lot of concerns that homeowners may have.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that is the concern.
So I would assume that's a protection that exists for homeowners. If, let's say, in an imperfect world, right? Is there any situation where the PPA provider could fail before the end of the term? Like, and where in the contract should a homeowner look for something that protects them? Because at the end of the day, still someone else owns a system on the homeowner's home.
Fail in between the term? Um, I guess that's a very valid question. I don't believe so. I've never saw that as an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. No, yeah, the people need to know. They need to talk to the experts and get some insight. Okay.
Yeah, I would assume that just like any other note holder, for example, when you go and you buy a mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and then you find out a couple months later that it's a different lender that now owns your note,
Mm-hmm.
that there would be something similar for an agreement like this where you're not going to have a situation where sadly they go bankrupt and then you don't have to keep paying your loan and then you still own it. You still have to, if you do a loan, you still have to pay the loan
Mm-hmm.
for the system and you'll own it on your 6 or just pay cash up front
Mm-hmm.
and own it, pay cash up front, own it right away. Pay cash up front with HDM Capital, pay 20% less, own it on your 6. Um, or finance it, for the regular amount up front or HDM and it's finance but at a lower cost.
And would it be wrong to say that homeowners can assume within this 6 year term they don't have liability for the system because they did a prepaid PPA? They won't have to assume any.
They don't have any liabilities as far as the system working because
Mm-hmm.
there's a duality of warranty. We still provide a 25-year parts performance and labor warranty on the panels,
Mm-hmm.
25-year roof penetration warranty, and a 10-year warranty on the battery, Tesla, parts performance and labor. And HEM Capital comes and does 6 years where they take care of everything
Mm-hmm.
for the time that they own it. And once ownership is transferred to the customer, they assume the rest of our natural warranty.
Thank you for clearing a lot of my questions. I genuinely wanted to learn a lot about this because looking through what you sent me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna use a lot of this for my questions. Following up on that, who would be a good candidate for a prepaid PPA and who might want to reconsider?
Well, the way I look at it, you're still going to own your system. regardless. It's just on year 6 versus right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of anybody who wouldn't want to do that because they're saving more money right off the bat.
And with all the recent changes and legislation, where do you see the future of solar within the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I see it remaining very strong due to the fact that we just had a 13% rate increase, and this is 1 year, and how relentless the utility has been and will continue to be.
Are there any misconceptions that you anticipate homeowners will have about the prepaid PPAs?
Oh yeah, I'm running into it right now,
Mm-hmm.
where they don't believe that they will own it.
Mm-hmm.
Clears that up on the very first page. They think that it's more like a traditional PPA,
Mm-hmm.
where you still have some type of monthly payment, which you don't if you pay for it up front,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., prepaid PPA. Um, Now you still have a finance payment if you choose to finance that lower balance,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not paying for the power that you produce like a traditional PPA because it's prepaid.
Do you have any final tips or advice for our listeners out there?
Yeah, give us a call, ask us any question, even if you think it's dumb or small.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to answer any of the little questions, any of the big questions, any time of the day.
Ashton, thank you for taking time out of your day to come do this and answer all of my questions.
Yeah,
I structured this for the listeners, but honestly, with the changes in solar, it's good to have some clarity.
yeah,
So,
absolutely, man.
for our listeners out there, the 30% federal tax credit may be gone, but you can still save money. Whether it's buying in cash up front or a prepaid PPA, visit OptionOneSolar.com today so you can not only fight the utility rates, but save money and see why homeowners across Southern California trust Option One Solar.